All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Welcome to the May Changelog. And if you are joining us live or you're watching later on, hi, hello, thank you for joining us. I'm Beth, and I'm going to be taking you through today's show. We have a lot of Bryant today. It's very exciting. However, I'm going to be kicking you off by taking you to Carmen with the product updates.
Thanks, Beth. And hey, everybody. Carmen here to tell you about what we've shipped in the last month or so with Directus 11.7.0 through to 11.7.2. Now, we've launched a couple of exciting new features, some bug fixes, and just one potential breaking change that you should know about. Now, let's start with some potential breaking changes. As of Directus 11.7.0, we will no longer be supporting MySQL 5.7 in the API. So keep an eye out for that. One of the biggest improvements we've made is in the UX and UI of the Visual Editor module, so go check it out. Lastly, we've published the Directus Schema Builder package for mocking database schemas. So that's an overview of what we've been working on over the last month. Be sure to check out further details of the Visual Editor module improvements later on.
Hey, what's up? Bryant here. I'm going to tell you about some updates to one of our more popular extensions that we've released through the Directus Labs program, the super header. So the super header is basically a powerful header component that gives you a couple different pieces inside one box. So you get a title that uses dynamic values. You get a subtitle, so you can add things like published and additional metadata. You get contextual help, and you get an action bar where you can add links or you can run flows right from the form instead of opening in the right sidebar. So this has been pretty popular since we launched it, but we also got a slew of feedback from you guys. So keep the feedback coming. Love it. We have fixed quite a few of the bugs that were happening on opening different modal windows within modals. So that is resolved. And let's take a look at the new functionality. So one of the pieces that is brand new is the ability to open the help content in a modal instead of inline as like an accordion type experience. For me, I think this is a better experience, but we still support the inline help if you prefer that as well. Next, we have fixed some of the issues with like loading internal links. So you can see here, I can open this up in the visual editor. That does not have to spin up the app or open in a new window. So we've solved that. And then when opening flows or running flows, now we have the capability to properly manage the overlay so that if you open something else inside your flow, which you can do, let's take a look at this, where we want to pick up the Directus users, this is no longer showing behind that. So just quality of life improvements. Now, onto the two biggest improvements, right? The ability to translate the help content, which was a huge one for anybody outside the US. And initially, I wasn't super sure there was an easy way to get this done, but we managed to do that. So here is how you enable translation support within the super header. So we're here inside the data model. We go into our interface and we scroll down, and now we have this enable help translations. So the help translations here, this uses the custom translation strings, and you'll have to set these up just like you would anywhere else that you're leveraging those for fields. And what this will do, whatever you set for these translation strings will override whatever the help content is here. So let's just take a look at what that experience looks like. I'm going to go in, and if I look at my custom translations, you can see I've got two different values for this key. I've got one in English, and this is just HTML content. That still works just fine. And then I have the same thing in French. So now go to the home page, we can see, okay, this is English, If I go to my specific user, we just change the default language to French. And we go back, so we see some of this content obviously doesn't have translation strings set up for it, but if we load our help, now we've got that help content localized for our user. So that just works out of the box with the standard setup. Now I'll go back in, just quickly set this back. And then the last piece of the puzzle is relational item support. So when we first launched this, we could not fetch relationships. Now you can. So if you have like a site set up where I've got a site that this belongs to, we want to show the name of the site, or even inside like our actions where we want to leverage a domain from another collection or a field from a many-to-one relationship. We can do that now, which is great. I know some of you have multi-tenant setups, and this enables that workflow. So now I can go in, I can see the site name. This is linked to Brian's site if we open that up, or Brian's front end. And then if I hit view on website, that will load that link for me. So that is the update for the super header. I hope you guys enjoy this. Super powerful. Got an update for you on our SEO plugin. So this was a plugin that we launched not too long ago. We've added a lot of nice updates to it. So if you've already used it before, this should look familiar to you. The plugin is all about managing your SEO metadata in a simple, easy to use interface. So out of the box, you kind of get page titles and meta descriptions, which is basically the bare minimum that you want on the SEO side. We show you a quick little search preview of what that would look like. You could populate this with a template from the page title, and we give you just some contextual help of how many characters you should have for the page title or the meta description. And if I go over those, you can see that that's going to be truncated in our search preview. We've also added a preview for your social media links or OG images. So here I can upload my social images or my OG image and actually get a quick preview of what it's going to look like if it's shared on different platforms, and what that link will actually look like. Just again, helpful little context. But now we have added even more powerful features to this based on feedback that we received. So we can enable advanced controls like search engine for like no index, no follow, so that it doesn't follow links or this particular page doesn't get indexed. You can add sitemap controls if you want to change the frequency which the crawlers look at your site, or the SEO fields. Those were like custom SEO fields where I can define like canonical URLs or basically any other metadata that I want to pass to my front end. But the new thing here is our focus key phrase. So we can actually analyze your content. So I'm going to go into our pages collection and let's set up the SEO plugin for our blog posts. So I'm just going to add this focus key phrase. And when I enable that, it asks me for a slug field and content fields. So where are we actually keeping the content that we're going to render on the page? Now, if you're coming from WordPress, this is very similar to something like Yoast or some of those other SEO tools where it's just static analysis of our content. So if I pull this up, we go over to our SEO tab, and here we've got the option to add our main key phrase. So if I add CMS as our main key phrase, you could see this analysis will happen almost immediately. It says, hey, your focus key phrase does not appear in the content. So this keyword isn't showing up in my content. Maybe bunny would be a better one for this. Cool. And then it shows us, hey, your subheadings, like your H1s, H2s, H3s, those do not contain that focus key phrase. So it gives us improvements, good results, just a quick, nice little check on your content before you publish to know that you're covering your SEO basics. So that is the update for the SEO plugin. I hope you'll find this helpful. Keep the feedback coming, please. We love it.
So what's new in content this month? We've been hard at work and published 8 new articles all about CMSs, or content management systems. Be sure to check them out. We've got articles on how to create a CMS and how to generate dynamic pages for CMSs in Astro, Nuxt, Next.js, and SvelteKit. Don't miss them.
All right, and as a reminder, you can find the extensions in github.com/directus-labs/extensions, and also the tutorials on directus.io/docs/tutorials. Next up, we have more of Brian. I told you we were super lucky today. He is going to be talking us through the visual editor updates.
Super excited for this one. This is a huge feature release for us. Visual editing. It's here. It's real. It's freaking awesome. And I don't get excited. Well, I get very excited about a lot of things, but I'm super excited about this one, and you should be too. This is going to change the game, right? The problem with most headless CMS experiences, great for us as developers. We love the structured data. Structured data is great for LLMs and AI. But when you go headless, you kind of miss that standard see what I'm editing experience, right? You're relying on the front end to interpret a lot of that. So in the past, we've had live preview. That works great. But what if we take this a step further and I just allow my content editors not to have to do this in a form, but as they're browsing the page and they can see the edits they're making right in line. That is visual editing. It's here. Let's take a look at it. So I'm just going to open this page up. This is our super header extension, but I'm just going to open this page in our visual editor. So here I can see we've got our content, and you'll notice as I start mousing over things, because I've enabled visual editor, and it's the visual editor is 2 pieces, right? There's a module inside Directus, and then there's a front-end library that you install on your website. Works with any of your favorite frameworks. So Nuxt, Next, Astro, Svelte. We've actually got starter kits for you, 100% ready to go with this integrated. So you don't really have to do a lot of work to get started with this, but super powerful, right? Up here at the top, we'll see our different URLs that are available to navigate to. I can also do this where I just toggle the navigation and hide that. And basically from here, it is like a full-on browsing experience. I can jump between different pages, and I can hover over an element, go in and edit that. Edit this form. Great. All the keyboard shortcuts that you would expect are here. So I can hit Command Save to save that. If I'm opening this up, I can hit Escape to close. So it's a very nice experience. Up at the top, I can also toggle all the editable elements. So I can see everything that I can edit in one go. Super easy, right? I can go in and update all of my navigation items. I could add new items to my navigation. And basically, this is all just using the data model that you've got set up in Directus. On the front end, you're enabling these fields and the behavior that you want through data attributes. Couldn't be simpler to integrate. Works with any deployment target, whether that's Netlify, Vercel, just a regular node, long-running server, whatever you've got, you can make this work. And this is baked into Core as well, which it's not hidden behind some enterprise plan, which is huge. So I'll just go in and let's navigate to our page at the bottom here. This is integrated into our front end where you can see I can now just drag and drop these blocks. And instead of doing this in a form and hitting save and waiting for the changes to happen, now I can see this happen directly in line. So this is content editing, and this is freaking Awesome. So number one, your content editors are going to love this. Definitely check this out. I'm going to show you inside our docs where this is located. First and foremost, like I said, we've got starters ready to go for you. There's a command that you can just copy here, npx directus-template-cli at latest init. Copy this, run this. It will pull down a example of our CMS template that you see here, and then it will also prompt you to install your favorite front-end framework, which again, we've got it all set up. But if you go to our docs, go to the guide section, and under content, look for the visual editor. So this is a quick preview of what it looks like. We've got documentation on the front end library. Again, that works through data attributes. You just install this, do a little bit of config, and boom, your content editors will love you. They'll be 10 times more efficient, 10 times more productive, and this is just an amazing feature all around. I'm super excited about it. I hope you are too.
All right. Thank you for those updates, Brian. If you are regular here at the Changelog, first of all, thank you. You are my favorite people. And secondly, you will know that the community showcase is my all-time favorite part of this show, and we are back, and I'm so excited for it. So we have Joachim talking through his currency extension next.
Hello everybody, my name is Jochem Koerts and I'm a software developer from the Netherlands. In my day-to-day job, I have a lot of focus on building software for the web, mainly in the front-end space. My go-to backend to use with my front-end applications, and the one that I really enjoy using, is Directus. And one of the things I really like about Directus is the extensibility via custom extensions. And that's also the topic of my video today. I recently built and released an extension called Simple Currency Field. The main goal of this extension is to provide a custom editor interface and an inline display for the Data Studio to enter and view currency values the same convenient way as we're used to in Directus Studio. And why currency values? Well, for example, to store prices for products in an e-commerce store. The reason I wanted to build this extension was because the default input field for the decimal type didn't give me enough flexibility for safely handling user input and correctly displaying a currency value. And as a technical side note, I did want to extend upon the decimal type for the field because of its accuracy in the database. So the extension will actually only work with fields that have decimal as their type. I've prepared a tiny demo within a local Directus instance on my computer and will be using a custom product collection I've prepared. So let's have a look. So let's have a look at our product collection. As you can see, we have a couple of pretty common fields: status, image, name, and price fields. Interface side, also price, and a couple of other fields which are not important for this demo. For the input, for the interface side, we have a euro symbol. And for our display portion, we also have a euro symbol. And if we are going to our product data model, we can see that the price field is configured as a decimal field with precision 19 and scale of 2, which means we can store pretty big numbers in our database for this field. And in the interface tab, you can see how I configured the euro sign as icon for the interface and the euro sign as prefix that's being used by the display. I've also enabled auto formatting for this field, and I think this is a pretty common way how you normally would configure a currency field in Directus. So what I want to do next is change my system settings, my language settings to Dutch. Let's do that. And let's go back to our product collection. And one of the problems I was talking about should become visible now, because the way the price is presented here is not common for the Dutch language. For instance, it should be using a comma as a decimal separator, but instead it's showing a dot for it. If we now go into one of the products and edit it as we and edit it, we can see the dot here as well. Important to note here though is that users should also use a dot when changing the value here. And this is probably not convenient for a lot of users, and maybe even worse if I copy a valid Dutch price into the fields. And I will just change it into a comma here. We will get a very crisp and clear error message. At least I hope so. Well, not really. Most technical users would be able to figure out what's going on here, but most probably would not. So these are a couple of the things I wanted to solve with the extension. A simple way to input and view currency values, preferably in the local of the user handling the content. So let's solve that. For this, we can go to our extensions and we can see that we have no extensions installed yet. And if we go to the marketplace, we can search for the simple field, simple currency field, extension. We can install it. We have to reload the page. And then we can go back to our collection, to the price field. And let's start with the display. No, with the interface. And let's change the input to currency. And let's configure our currency to euro. Save it. And if we go back to our product listing and to our product, we can now see properly formatted currency value. In fact, I can type whatever I want. Unless it's a number, it will not accept it as input. What's also neat to show here is that as soon as you leave the field will automatically be formatted into the correct locale for the user. So it also supports rounding. So if I add a 6, it should become 96. And that will also work. But you can also add in bigger numbers to get a 1000 separator like this. And if you leave the field, it will automatically probably format that. If you save it, to the same thing. And you can also copy in numbers with a 1000 separator in it. Like this, for instance, as an example. If I copy that into the field, it will automatically use the proper inputting format, and as soon as I leave it, it will use the proper displaying formatting. And yeah, let's also enable it for the display. So if you go back to our collection, go to the display settings, remove the configured version and pick currency. Save that. The currency symbol is automatically derived from the interface settings. Let's go back to our collection and we can see it's properly formatting here as well. One last thing to show here, I think, is that instead of changing current fields, you can also easily add new currency fields to any of your collections. For instance, let's imagine we need a subtotal field in our product collection. We can easily do so by selecting the currency field here, which is just a placeholder for the input field with type set to decimal. Let's name that subtotal. Let's also give that the same currency symbol. And let's go to the advanced options in order to set precision and scale to be the same as the price field. Save it. Move it. And let's go back to our collection. And here you can see now that we can use the field with the extension. So that was my demo. With this extension, I hope to make handling currency values in Directus not only easier, but also more intuitive and user-friendly, especially for those working in different locales. If you would like to try this extension yourself, you can find it on the Directus Marketplace and on my GitHub profile. You can also find me on the Directus Discord server if you want to chat. And if you have any feedback, suggestions, or ideas for improvements, feel free to reach out. I'm always open to suggestions and collaboration. Thank you for watching this demo, and I look forward to see how the community makes use of the simple currency field extension. Have a great day. Bye.
All right, and there's actually, since Joachim very kindly recorded that video, there is a new post on our new community platform, which I will link here as well. And that brings us to our next section, which is that Rike and I had a little chat about just that. Welcome. We have Rike with us, who is... Do you want to introduce yourself in case people don't know? Maybe they're finding this on a different platform.
Yes, please. I'm the CTO and co-founder here at Directus.
And you're here with exciting news, which you may have already heard if you are in our Discord, but what is the exciting news, Rike?
We have a new community platform. That is very exciting news.
What is the new platform? Where is it?
The new platform is community.directus.io, and it's a discourse forum.
Are we about to battle it out between Discord and Discourse right now?
I think we should, shouldn't we?
I think we should. So, we're moving from Discord to Discourse. Why? Why are we doing that?
Right, so we've been on Discord for, years now, right? We started it as an open community server, and it kind of turned into a bit of a, Q&A type of thing, a chat with contributors. But over time, we realized as that community grew, we just hit a couple of roadblocks, really. It's like the search kind of didn't work, so people have to ask the same question multiple times. The questions don't show up on the internet, so if you Google for stuff, you're not going to find any of the questions that were asked on Discord. And generally speaking, it started to, there's some cracks showed up. There were some cracks at that skill, for sure. So the main points that we realized we wanted to solve is just that findability, right? Make it accessible to the internet, make it accessible to AI. And then the second part is make sure that it's in a structured format that is a little bit more QA rather than just chat messages that are all, intertwined like that. We chose Discourse as sort of the tool for the job, and that's now accessible. Yes,
it is. So you can view it without an account, or you can make an account and you can start posting and liking things. What's happening to the current Discord? Is it completely going? Are we shutting it down? Oh no.
No. So what Discord is really good for is active chatting. Obviously, it's a chat platform, right? So we're going to keep it around for chatting with the community and just talking to each other, talking with contributors, talking to folks in the community in general. But we are explicitly saying, hey, Discourse is just the better tool for the job when it comes to Q&A. So if you have any questions around Directus or how to use it, or you run into something, Discourse is going to be the place to go, right? Community.directus.io. And for everything else, if you just want to chat, want to hang out, Discord is going to stick around.
I'm going to give you a very quick tour of the new community platform. If you head over to community.directus.io, you'll land here, which has all of the top posts. You can also filter from all time, year, quarter, month, week, or on today. There's also the ability to see the latest activity on posts. You can also filter with different tags or in categories. So for example, if you want to see the showcases, here you go. You have the ability to sign up with your Google, your GitHub, your Discord, or your email address. Once you've signed in, here I am as definitely not Beth, you'll be able to post topics. So you can pick whichever category is the right one for your post and any tags that relate to it, as well as a title and a body of text. You can also interact with other people's posts by liking. You've got a few choice of different emojis, as well as replying. If you've got any questions about the new platform or what's happening with Discord or anything else, let us know. The general chat in Discord is still available, or make a new topic on our community platform.
Welcome back to another episode of Short Hops. I'm your host, Brian Gillespie, and in this episode, I'm going to give you one of the coolest tips and tricks that I've probably ever shared here on Short Hops. So stick with me on this one. It's really cool. All right, so what are we focused on today? We're going to build a better user experience using filters on our relational interfaces. That is a mouthful. Kind of underwhelming title, but let's dive into an example project and I'll show you what we've got going on. So this is a sample Directus instance. This is my Agency OS project that we put out under the Directus Labs organization. Be sure to check that out. But I want to show you the scenario. So I'm creating a project in here and we've got an organization and we could add multiple contacts to this. So a project belongs to an organization. Let's go with Tesla in this case. Pretty ambiguous name. And then I want to add an existing contact to this. But you can see here, here's my problem. If I take a look, I get all the contacts for this. So, I'm only wanting to be able to select contacts that are at Tesla. So this is kind of a dependency here. How do we manage something like this? So I'm just going to open the settings. We're going to go into our data model. I'm going to look for the projects collection. And here inside organization, we've got contacts right beside it. What I'm looking for, we could see the relationship tab and how all these things come together. But when I go into the interface, and this is a many-to-many collection, or relationship, so you'll have to be mindful of how you've got your relationship set up. But if I want to set that up dependent upon a field that we already have, I could do something like this. Down here in my filter, I could go in and like hard code a value of, show me all the contacts where the name contains Ashley. But we want this to be dynamic, right? So I'm going to drill into our organizations. This is a many-to-many relationship. And I'm going to say organizations.id equals, and I could do this. I'm going to do mustache brackets here, and I'm going to do organization, which is the name of that other field inside our data model. All right, great. So let's take a look at this, and we'll go back. We'll create a new project. Right now, if I click Add Existing, no contacts show up. How come? Right. So what I could do here, we'll say Directus Test. That's the company we want to do this project for. And now I only see the contacts who are part of that organization. Right. Likewise, if I change this to Tesla, I open it up and I see I've got Elon Musk here as the only option to select. So that's it. Take a look at the filter on any of the relational interfaces that you've set up. This is a nice little technique to use in certain scenarios like this one. That's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next one.
We want to take a moment towards the end of the changelog for thanking our amazing community contributors who give their time to improve the Directus project. Since last month, there have been 3 contributors. A huge thank you to Osman for fixing duplicate values for isOneOff filter. Gavelium for ensuring that the context menu of a field in the data model settings appear at full height. And to Xiles for adding data collection and field name attributes to parent wrapper for all form elements. Thank you again. You can see their specific pull requests inside of the full release notes on GitHub. Lastly, we also want to take the time to thank our GitHub sponsors of April who financially contribute to Directus development. A huge thank you to Wayfan, Entel, Mike, Fergus, Omar, Marcus, Mission Control, Peter, Utomic, Stephen, James, Nonlinear, Andreas, Khan, John, Jamaluddin, Burb, Adam, Jason, Burka, Yuya, Vincent, CK, Valentino, Jens, Wayne, and Yanis. The money we are given from our GitHub sponsors goes straight back to community members who build tooling and extensions for the Directus ecosystem. Thank you again for being part of that. All right, that is everything for this month's changelog. Thank you so much. If you've made it to this point, you are incredible, and I appreciate you spending the time with us. I hope to see you next month. In the meantime, do go check out the new community platform, and if you've got any questions, you've got two choices now. You can either go into the Discord, or you can be top tier and go to our new community platform. So please go see you over there and go and check out more of what's been going on. Have a great rest of your day, your week, and your month, everyone, and I will see you again shortly.